Hello, everyone. So I'm going to say hi.
Hello.
I don't know if you're talking to us or everyone else.
Well, it's just you four, so I'm just saying hi to you guys again. We are super excited to have another Sweet Regency Ramblings. Today, as I mentioned before in my post, we're going to talk about Sense and Sensibility and all the different versions. We were looking beforehand, there are like 6-ish, 5-ish, 4-ish. There were 4 that I found that are historical, and then there are a bunch of different modern adaptations and contemporary adaptations. So I just took screenshots of the ones. This is 1971. Can you see that? They look lovely.
Fantastic.
I love his hair.
It looks like my grandma's. Hold on, let me zoom up on that.
Oh,
it's lovely. I love the bangs and the curls. It's so pretty.
Very charming. This one's 1981.
Okay, I don't think
it's not very good. And this one's 19. This is the Emma Thompson one.
95.
Why is the glare so bad? Yes, 1995.
95 was a good year for historical.
It was.
Mm-hmm. And then 2008.
Yeah,
that's I don't know any of the actors' names or whatever. And then there are a bunch of different contemporary ones, like the one I mentioned earlier, Sense, as an SCENTS. You guys said you couldn't finish that one, right?
Yeah, I made it like 10 minutes in, I think.
It's pretty bad.
I watched about half of Sense Sensibility and Snowmen. I think that's what it was called last year, and with my parents, and we were all just like, "Oh, they really messed with the story too." So it wasn't even very recognizably.
Oh, really?
Adaptation. Yeah. So
that's frustrating because then it's like you can't even tell.
It's not as fun.
There's a list I found. There's also Prada to Nada. That's one.
Really?
I Have Found It. That one looks like it's an Indian one. It's the Tamil musical story. There's also yes. There's also Material Girls. Have you seen that one? Pride and Passion. I don't know how that's Sense and Sensibility, but okay. And then there's the Sense and Sensibility and Snowmen one. And Twist of Fate. And that's it that I've seen. So we are super well versed in our Sense and Sensibility remakes, aren't we? So I think we're basically going to be talking about the 2 main ones, which
best
is the
ones.
Exactly. The 95 one and the 2008 one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So tell me your opinions about them. Which one's your guys' favorite? Do you have favorites?
Don't ask that. Well, go Casey.
I like the Dan Stevens one the best.
2008.
I like them both. But
that's the 2008 one, right?
Yeah.
That one's good.
It's so good.
Why do you like that one the best?
Well, it's longer. I mean, it's a mini series, so there's more, But I don't know. I kind of like I really love a lot of the actors in the older one too. But I kind of like that I didn't really know any of the actors in the newer one. I don't know. They just became what the people look like to me in my head now.
Yeah. I feel the same way because I feel like with the 2005 one, I didn't watch it until probably 10 years ago or something, and I can't. That's one with Snape in it, right? Yeah, I just can't get on board with it. It's
really, I love him.
I love him, but I'm like, he's just Snape. I'm like, you can't be a love interest.
Yeah, I had the same problem.
Did you?
Yeah, I just couldn't. I still can't really get over it when I watch it. I love that version a lot, but my main problem with that one is Colonel Brandon. Whereas with 2008 one, which I love, like Casey said, because it goes into the plot. It's more true to the plot. I can't stand the Willoughby. I would take the Willoughby from 95 and put him in 2008 and be happy. I just feel like Willoughby in 2008 is it's not even believable that he's not likable. He's just. Yeah, you can from the beginning you feel suspicious of him, and I like that in the other one he looks more carefree and probably not very smart, but I just like him better. He's cuter too.
Well, plus it's cute that like he met Emma Thompson and married her in real life.
Wait, who did?
What?
Willoughby
The guy that
and
plays
Emma
Willoughby?
Thompson. They're
That's
like
Emma
happily
Thompson's. No.
husband. Yeah,
How did I
they
not
met.
know this?
Well, they met on the set of that movie, didn't they?
And he's in The Crown, right?
And are they still
I haven't
married?
gotten that far. Yeah, they're like cute.
What? No
Yes.
way.
I feel like that.
He's
needs to be
aged well
information.
too. He's very
Yeah.
handsome.
Gosh, I did not know that. I feel like
That is
that's
just
something
the
that needs
cutest
to be
thing.
like more like
Broadcast.
No.
broadcasted out for all of us.
Well,
No,
we're
but then it's
broadcasting it
totally-
now, so
Probably even weirder
There
to
it
watch it. You're like,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
what's going
it
on
is.
between each
yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like so most of the time when I see a version first, like I kind of am very loyal to that version. So like the
Mhm.
1995, like Pride and Prejudice, I'm like, no, nothing else compares. This is one where I saw the other one first, and I still think I maybe like the other one better. And I
So
love
you like the 95?
I like the 2008, I think better. So I saw the 95 first, and I love it. And I love Emma Thompson, and I love Hugh Grant in there and stuff. But I think that the representation of it is just so well done in the 2008.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some characters, but see, I didn't have a problem with Snape. I think I saw it before Harry Potter, is maybe why.
Very possible.
I liked
Harry
him.
Potter out.
I don't know, but I wasn't like a quickly on board fan of Harry Potter.
Neither was I, because I was too prideful to read it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, my parents were like, you should read this book about a boy wizard. And I'm like, wow, that sounds lame.
Oh, that's what all the publishers said to her too. Right?
I know.
It's really fun. It's about magic in this world. I'm like, yeah, not my thing. So I have since repented. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, but I do. So I love the 95, but I think like, I mean, and it's kind of like we always talk about, like, Casey, like you mentioned something today about like, well, my favorite, Jane Austen is really whatever I'm in the mood for. It switches between this one and this one. So it's kind of like whatever I'm in the mood for. If I'm in the mood for that more in depth, I think the 95 version with Emma Thompson is just hilarious. And her crying scene at the end.
It's so good.
My favorite. The ugly cry. I mean, how many movies do you get to see the ugly cry? And
That's like the equivalent of the Emma nosebleed.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes.
Slightly less disgusting.
Yeah. More palatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Hugh Grant. Don't kill me, anyone. But and Mindy, if she were here, would say, that he looks like a turtle when he wears a cravat. So, so I really like Dan Stevens as
he's
Edward
a better
Ferrars,
Edward.
but
Yeah, but go ahead.
No, that was all.
The deleted scene with Hugh Grant and Emma Thompson on the bridge. Did you guys all watch that?
Yeah.
I do think that's really sweet between them.
Yeah.
Kind of makes up for it.
I think I need to go watch this. Where does one find deleted scenes?
YouTube.
Where else?
Okay. I'll go check that out and see how I feel about it.
And then report
Because
back.
no, I do like Dan Stevens a little more. I didn't mind Hugh Grant. I like Hugh Grant. So and I think he did a good job at like that awkward, quirky like thing.
That's literally all he can do.
Yeah. Okay. I see where that's coming from.
I don't have feelings.
So like that's how I envision Edward, even because I'm pretty sure I watched the 95 version before I even read Sense and Sensibility. So like I kind of like take those and then I pictured him. But then when I watched the Dan Stevens version, I'm like, I bet that's more what Jane Austen had in mind for Edward. I don't know.
Well, I think I actually watched the 95 one before I read the book. And so when I read the book, I was like, how they, with their British accent, it sounds like Ferris, like Edward Ferris. And so when I read the book and it was Ferrers, I was like, what? It's all wrong. So that was a big surprise for me when I read the book. But
Same. Well, opposite for me, because I thought it was Ferrars. And so when they said it in the movie, I was like, that's
Ferrari.
wrong. Ferrars.
I won't even say what I thought because I kind of just like graze over names. It's kind of like the F last name. There we go.
Fortescue, like that's one of my favorite scenes in the 95 one. Which in the 95 one, they just like completely got rid of Sir John's wife, right? Like Lady Middleton, she doesn't even exist in that one.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Mrs. Jennings is the important one because she's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I feel like even in the 2008, you hardly see her just like
she's just quiet.
It's like
with all her kids.
poor lady, poor lady, surrounded by Sir John and her mother.
Hey, that one's a Harry Potter actor.
Yeah,
too.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Weasley.
Yeah, but he does a good job at that.
Yeah.
I love him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the actors in the 95 one, I think because I watched it and I was kind of younger, that they all seemed like super old to me.
Yeah, I was just going to say something about that. Well, I was just going to look up how
Yeah.
old Emma Thompson was when she played Eleanor, because Eleanor was supposed to be like, what is she, 19, I think, and Marianne 16 and a half. And so I don't think Kate Winslet was 16 and a half. And maybe that's for the best. But yeah, I felt like they were older too, as much as I love them both. Let's see.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's because it's for a modern audience, so they try to make her more spinster aged.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So Emma Thompson would have been 36 when she played Eleanor.
Oh, that's old. That's as old as me.
She was born in
now.
59.
That's so old.
Whoa.
Old.
That's awful.
Gross. Ew, get her off.
And then Kate Winslet would have been 30. Nope, 20.
Really?
I can't add. It's 20.
There's that
Yeah,
much of
she was
an
born
age
in
gap
75.
between them?
Yeah, apparently.
Wow.
So which one do you like? Which Eleanor do you guys like better?
The newer one.
Yeah, me too. I don't know her name.
I don't either. I feel bad about that now.
I know.
I think I probably like her a little better too, but I do love Emma Thompson a lot. What about Marianne?
I love Kate Winslet as Marianne. She's my favorite.
She does a good job.
Yeah.
But I like the newer one.
Me too.
I don't know. I'm torn.
Wrong choice. Yeah. No.
I think it comes down to like I think Casey, you were saying this, how they're like not well-known actors and actresses. And so like, because like going in and knowing Kate Winslet has acted other things in Emma Thompson and stuff, it was just kind of hard to see them in that like major role and stuff. So I think seeing like these new people who I've never seen before, exactly, yeah, I think it was easier for me to kind of get swallowed into the story that way.
Well, and even like Dan Stevens is a brunette in it, and he looks different,
Yeah.
I didn't even realize he was the same person until like fairly recently. Like I didn't realize he was, in Downton or anything. Like he looks a lot better to me personally in Sense and Sensibility. I don't think he looks very good in
I think he looks good in everything.
You like him better as a brunette?
I do.
I think I like him better as a blonde, which is funny because I'm a brunette gal.
Let's fight.
Shall we vote? No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know. I did actually, when I was watching it this last time, I was like, oh, Dan Stevens looks really good in this. So I don't know. I felt like I liked him as a blonde, but I might team up with Martha.
Yes.
Casey.
Come to the dark side.
I like him in a wig. I like him in
you like him as the beast.
I like him in everything.
Just give me some Dan Stevens. I don't care if he's in full like beast mode. Give me Dan.
I'm just saying.
What about Fanny?
Oh, Fanny's the worst.
She's literally
ever.
the worst.
She's just the worst.
She's really
and
bad.
She's the worst in both of them.
Yeah, I think they chose good actresses for both, but I don't know. I kind of like the 95 one a little better, I think.
Oh, she is
She's easy to
nasty.
hate.
And by like I mean
one.
hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her curls that are on. She's just
Oh, I hate those.
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes, and they both do it very similar to each other, but is when Fanny's convincing John to like that his father actually didn't mean to like give them money, like just like the subtle way she does it, like it's so manipulative, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like how did he go from like being like, yeah, I think I'll give him at least £1,000, to like, I owe them nothing. Oh yeah, like we could give him some game and some presents sporadically. Yeah, that's totally, and I'm like,
what expenses could they possibly have?
Seriously, and just like how she does it, I'm like, man, she is wicked.
Yeah,
she's
bad.
Really good. Yeah.
What about Mrs. Dashwood? Do you guys have a favorite?
I need to remember the one from the 95.
I love
That's
them
why I'm
both.
looking up each of these characters so I can picture
she's
them.
old, right? Like older in the 95 one?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
She's a little older. I feel like she'd probably actually be not too far older than the one that plays the 2008, but...
Well, yeah, because at one point, that part where she's talking about, Marianne is talking about how old Colonel Brandon is, and the mom's like, hey, I'm like the same age as
Well, yeah.
Like
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, Martha.
I was just going to say, if her oldest is 19, like Eleanor, she can't be that old. I mean, they had babies pretty quick, right? So
Yeah, I was going to say, when he brings her the flowers, and then Marianne the music, I was like, hey, he should probably just go for the mom. She's super pretty.
They're probably the same age.
Yeah. And she is. Yeah, I think she's such an elegant woman in the 2008 version.
Yeah.
I think she has, like, it's fun because I think she also portrays like that little bit of like she was a hybrid woman who doesn't want to go back to this cottage. And I think she does, when she's like, oh, look at these houses I found. And Eleanor's like, we can't afford either of those. And just like her attitude, like, I just loved it. She was just like, would you expect me to like live in anything else?
Yeah, it's like, are you trying to hurt my feelings? Like, she's just ignorant.
Where the first one I felt like was more like sweet and not like, she was just a little more passive.
Yeah.
But I really like both. That's a hard one.
What are the other characters? The little girl. She
Margaret
doesn't play a big part. That's it.
She's
pretty
cute in both of them.
Yeah.
In both. She's pretty similar in both too. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they play her, or they cast her a lot younger. I mean, she's 13 in the book, and maybe I just don't know that many 13-year-olds right now, but I feel like she acts a lot younger than
I feel she really does.
Okay.
Well, especially if she's only 3 years. Yeah.
Younger than
she's only 3 years younger. Yeah.
Than Marianne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And so you guys like Colonel Brandon, all three of you, the 2008 version. I like him better too, but I didn't mind whatever his name is, Snape.
Yeah, I liked Snape too. I thought he was fine.
Alan Rickman.
I don't prejudice against him.
Alan Rickman. I was watching an interview with him about Sense and Sensibility, and his voice is just so intense.
I know.
Yeah, kind of distracting.
Is the perfect Snape.
Yeah. Such a good Snape.
Expelliarmus.
That was great. That was great.
We should probably have another ramblings about Harry Potter.
Yes.
It would kind of fit because, I mean, she's Professor Trelawney, so.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Like,
and then we've got Weasley.
Yep.
Weasley in there.
That's a strong connection.
Enough of one. What about the other characters? Are there any other ones? Can't think of any.
The Steels. How about them?
Oh.
I feel like
I'm glad that I didn't groan.
Yes.
Like I feel like I liked Lucy still least in the 95 version. Like I feel like she is just like cringeworthy. She does such a good job, which is like her role. So she's really good. I feel like the other one is not quite as intense, but I think they both did a good job. See, look at my super strong opinions about this.
I think we're all that way.
Both of you, so great.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I need to rewatch them both clearly, but I feel like they both did a pretty good job. I think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I felt like when I first watched the 95 one, I didn't realize that Lucy Steele, like from the get-go, was like a jealousy thing with her, and she was trying to she was trying to hit a mark with Eleanor. I thought she was just like, innocently being like, oh my gosh, I have this, which is probably because I was young and naive myself. But and so I feel like maybe that's why I liked the 2008 one a little better, because I knew you could tell she was kind of calculated in it. But I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
See, and I think that's exactly why I like the other one, not as
because she was more subtle.
Because she was so subtle, you knew what she was getting at, and you're like, you are naughty.
Yeah.
And I love how Mrs. Jennings always uses the word naughty to everyone. All of them. She's like, you're naughty.
She's so funny.
I don't know why I like it. That's just my immature side. Everyone just ignore them. Naughty. I
can't remember in the 95 one. Do they show Marianne and Willoughby going to his estate? Does anybody remember?
I can't remember,
because I felt like in the 2008 one, they show them together at the house and their hands touching on the banister and stuff. And I don't know. I just love that about the 2008 one, that you just get more of the story, and you see Willoughby coming back at the end when Marianne is sick, and just kind of, because in the book, I believe Jane Austen ends it being Willoughby always saw Marianne as the kind of perfect woman, but don't worry, he still had happiness in his life. She knew readers were going to be really worried about that, which I think is interesting, because he's kind of, he's a villain essentially. Yeah. So anyway, I like the 2008 that you get more of that.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, when I first, because I got distracted today watching the 2008 again. But when I first pulled it up, I'm sitting in my kitchen with my kids cooking lunch, and I just turn it on and it's just sitting there.
Oh, no.
And the first scene of that, I was
yeah. Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I'm Andrew Davies. He has some.
Was it Andrew Davies that did the adaptation? I didn't realize that.
I think he did the 2008 version.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Because I was sitting there, I was like, oh, heavens. Oh, and they're like, what are you watching? I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I promise it's not supposed to be bad.
And proper. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a nice little surprise for me. Wow.
I forgot about that.
That's
yeah.
good for Jane Austen. I mean, I guess that's kind of like Sanditon, right?
Yeah.
Jane Austen. Kind of.
And they show the duel, right, too, in the 2008
yes,
one. They don't show that in the 95, or do they? I mean, maybe I'm remembering wrong.
They don't, because I was watching that and I was like, wait, they duel? How did I not remember that they duel? They duel in the book, right? Do they?
I don't remember. I'm curious.
I could not think of. I was like, I don't remember them dueling in the book.
I will look it up.
It's been too long. I can't remember.
I feel like maybe we should have all watched the movies and then read the book and then done this.
Yeah, I know.
It's fine.
I said we'll come back later with our actual opinions.
It says it is in the novel, but underemphasized in the text itself. So
isn't that how everything is?
Yes.
Everything is just yeah.
Yeah. That's
I wish we could get away with writing like that.
I know.
Imagine the complaints we'd get.
Lucky Jane.
I know. Yeah. We should do a Sanditon one of these.
Oh, yes.
And talk about how
Deborah
feel about it. See, I stopped.
We forced Deborah to watch Sanditon at our writing retreat a couple of weeks ago. So.
It was forced.
I am paying for it now. by watching Parks and Rec. That was my end of the deal.
Yeah, it's such a terrible, terrible thing that you have to do. I'm making you laugh and watch one of the funniest shows ever.
Hey, you liked it too.
I liked what?
Sanditon.
It was fine. I would not ever have watched it without you guys editing it and fast forwarding it and
we didn't
ending it at a good
end up
spot.
editing that much stuff, huh, Casey? Like I thought we'd have to edit a lot more than we did. There were like it was still how long was it supposed to be altogether? Like 6 or 6.5 hours or something. And I feel like we probably edited out like 20 minutes or something.
Is that it?
So yeah, it was not much. Do you remember what time we finished?
I do. It was like 3:30.
It was 3:30 in the morning. We watched it all in one night. So we got a lot of writing done, obviously.
That's part about writing retreat.
Yeah. Anyway, Sense and Sensibility. Consensus?
One moment. You can you talk amongst yourselves.
Consensus is you should watch them both. Oh wait, that's not the vote is which we like better in the very end.
Yeah.
I think I would have to go with 2008.
I think I would too.
Yeah, me too. I think they're like Pride and Prejudice, where it's nice to have a long one and it's nice to have a condensed one.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like all the casting of the 2008 was probably more like, I don't know, just representative of what Jane Austen actually had intended for a lot of her characters.
Except for Willoughby.
Except for Willoughby. Of course, he's better in this. Just take him from the 95 and scoot him on over. He ages well.
Doesn't Willoughby actually love her? He just is like, I don't know. He's a complicated villain because he has real feelings for her. He just
made the mistake with Colonel Brandon's ward first, and then he just ended up marrying for money instead. But
I'm not saying he's perfect.
He just did this terrible thing and this terrible thing.
But no, I think especially in the 95 version, like I really felt like he loved Marianne, and he was like, it was a hard choice. I don't know, maybe because I didn't like Willoughby in the other version as much that I was less compassionate.
He looks like a villain. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and I got to see the steamy scene right in the beginning.
Oh,
with Willoughby.
Oh, yeah. That soured.
So that soured me. Yeah.
Is that
Willoughby?
Oh, okay. Because all right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's the ward and Willoughby.
Yeah.
Is it?
Because then she's standing at the window, like looking out at him as he says, "I'll be back," and then he doesn't come back. You know,
I'm pretty sure.
Like that.
That's an asterisk. No one ever trusts my opinion completely. Okay.
I looked it up once because I skipped it and I needed to know if I missed something important.
Yeah, it's just Brandon's ward who was convinced into having.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't watched it yet, spoiler alert.
It is at the very beginning.
It's like the first scene. It's like you go into it and it is there for you.
It's an interesting choice.
Ready for you.
Very like false advertising if that's what you think you're going to get for the rest of the movie.
Well, that's an Andrew Davies for you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for real.
I know. I watched it with my husband like last month, and we started there, and he was like, "Whoa, what are you showing me?" Like Jane Austen.
Okay, ready? It's okay. It's okay. I promise. I think it should be okay. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I like them. I love them both. So that's my conclusion.
Deborah, did you hear us? We concluded that the three of us prefer the 2008. Now, what's your opinion?
2008.
Okay.
Instantly. We all agree.
That's for our next writing retreat. We'll watch that one.
Or we could just watch Poldark.
True. Good point.
That's what we should have been watching instead of Sanditon.
Oh,
stupid Sanditon. Just kidding.
Deborah only says that because Theo James does not appeal to her as much as he does to
because
he
looks like her brother. So it makes sense. That just completely tainted it.
Yeah,
she's
I was gonna
say,
say
not a reliable source.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I felt like I was watching my brother the whole time, then yeah, heck no, I'd be like, no, this movie stinks. But I was watching Theo James, so.
Oh, that is funny. Well, shall we end since we've had our consensus?
I know we needed Mindy here so she could
I
have
counted
our
on
different opinion.
and go on a 5-minute rant about the turtle thing because it's a really big deal to her.
Maybe she'll come on in the comments afterwards and make her opinion known.
Yes, we hope so. We hope so, Mindy.
Counting on you.
All right. Well, next time we're going to talk about Sanditon or Poldark. I decided.
Poldark.
Done.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave in the comments your favorite version of Sense and Sensibility, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.